Ahoy, this is Admiral. Welcome to my video. Today we're talking about a certain unit that has a rare characteristic that can be unlocked under the right circumstances. If you've seen my video already on the Wrath special ability, this will sound familiar, as surprisingly, I've discovered a very similar situation to exist with one other unit. If you haven't seen the Wrath video, I'd recommend seeing that one. But to give either a refresher or a crash course, this has to do with what happens when a unit is converted. Normally, when you convert an enemy unit, that unit is permanently stuck with whatever upgrades or bonuses it had right before the conversion. For example, if you convert a knight in early Castle Age that has few upgrades, it won't benefit from any subsequent blacksmith or other technologies you research, and won't be upgraded to a cavalier or paladin if you eventually research those upgrades. This also means that converted units don't benefit from your civilization bonuses. Converting a Gurjara Chakram thrower as Japanese or Dravidians sadly won't make it attack faster or ignore armor. On the other hand, you at least don't lose enemy civilization bonuses or technologies when you convert a unit. So a Malian Farimba Cavalier or a Bulgarian Stirrups Cavalier that you convert will still have higher attack or faster attack respectively than your own Cavaliers. The only way to get around this limitation in a normal game is if you convert a unit that has a transformation mechanic, which has the effect of replacing or recreating the unit in that instant, removing enemy technologies or bonuses that no longer apply, and updating the unit with whatever technologies or bonuses your civilization has, as well as allowing it to benefit from upgrades you research in the future. Units with a transformation mechanic include villagers when they change jobs, trebuchets packing or unpacking, the Wrath Chariot when it switches between ranged and melee modes, and monks when they pick up or drop off relics. The implications of this when it comes to villagers, trebuchets, and monks are not very interesting, as you can just train those units yourself rather than convert them, if you want them to benefit from your civilization bonuses and technologies. Speaking of relics though, these coveted artifacts are at the heart of this secret, and in the hands of a certain type of convert to your civilization, can transform and empower that unit with your civilization's unique bonuses and technologies. As you may have guessed, the unit in question is a type of monk. That's right, this is the secret of the warrior priest. Well, it's a bit more tricky than the Wrath, as it requires access to a relic rather than just the click of a button. You can get converted warrior priests to benefit from your civilization's unique advantages. Once again, there are a few provisos, a couple of quid pro quos. First off, you do need atonement to convert a warrior priest, so for a few civilizations that miss that technology, they're sadly unable to take advantage of this exploit. Also, unlike the Bengalis, Armenians do have heresy available, so you'll have to finish your evangelizing before they decide to anathemize joining your cause as a fate worse than death. Although, to be fair, Armenians don't specialize in expensive units like paladins, elephants, or siege that might tempt them to burn through 1,000 gold on this technology, and in my experience, it's common for most players to skip heresy altogether. It's just something to be aware of, especially in high-resource game modes, or games starting in post-Imperial Age. Converted units that transform will also lose technologies you don't have access to, such as Feriders if the Armenian player has it researched. And finally, you do need access to a relic, as picking it up or dropping it is the transformation mechanic that makes the unit truly a part of your civilization. Now, in carrying on the proud tradition inaugurated by the Wrath video, we're going to look at the top 10 non-Armenian civilizations for warrior priests, based on which civilization bonuses and unique technologies can provide the most value. Starting off in number 10, we have the Romans, who end up with 5 melee and pierce armor in Castle Age, thanks to their civilization bonus. Although by post-Imperial Age this ends up as only 1 extra melee armor compared to a generic civ that gets all the armor technologies. And unfortunately they miss the Sanctity technology, leaving them with 80 hit points instead of 95. In number 9, it's the other Romans, the Byzantines, who don't pack as much of a punch due to their lack of blast furnace, but do get the relevant armor and monastery technologies, and benefit from their team bonus of faster healing, allowing their warrior priests to heal twice as fast as those of other civilizations, or as fast as Armenian warrior priests benefiting from their unique technology, Feriders. Continuing the theme of doubling up, in 8th place, with full upgrades, conversion resistance, and double healing range are the Teutons, who can support their frontline fighters from a comfortable distance with soothing chants, but can also put up a respectable fight themselves if it comes down to it. 7th place goes to the Viking warrior priests, who benefit less than you might think from the 20% hit point bonus, given that they lack Sanctity, and end up with 1 hit point more than a warrior priest with Sanctity. Their real advantage, though, is being empowered by chieftains, with anti-cavalry and anti-camel bonus damage, and in true Viking fashion can plunder gold from slain villagers, trade carts, and monks. The Dravidians land in 6th place, lacking the motivating fervor of other converts, but who, like the Dravidian Wraths, laugh in the faces of heavily armored opponents thanks to loot steel, and otherwise have full upgrades. Another hard-hitting Sohei civilization is appropriately the Japanese, who have all relevant technologies and attack 33% faster, allowing them to defend their wonder and earning them the title of 5th best. 4th place goes to the Burmese, another punishing priest with +1 attack per age, and who can pick up Atonement, Sanctity, and Fervor, along with their other monastery technologies at half price. There aren't any honorable mentions before we get to the top 3, except perhaps a surprisingly long list of civilizations that get the relevant monastery and infantry technologies, but don't have any unique bonuses or technologies that affect their warrior priests. The worst civilization for warrior priests is probably Tatars, who miss Sanctity and only get 1 infantry armor technology. And I haven't forgotten about the Goths, Sicilians, or Celts, whose theological inadequacies leave them unable to unlock the mysteries of atonement, meaning they can only dream of having their own warrior priests, but in their dreams they would benefit from extra building damage, extra bonus damage resistance, and extra speed, respectively. Moving on to 3rd place though, the Slavs don't have to dream about swifter warrior priests. Their 20% monk speed bonus gives them the fleetest friars of all, with equivalent speed to a hypothetical Celtic warrior priest. They can also join the Druzhina to gain area damage against adjacent units. In 2nd place, with a mind-blowing extra 3 melee and pierce armor for all monk units, including warrior priests, we have the Bengalis. Their advantage diminishes somewhat by Imperial Age due to the absence of plate mail armor, but they still retain a substantial 2 melee and 1 pierce armor over a generic warrior priest. And they're arguably the best warrior priests in Castle Age, being clad with up to 6 melee and 6 pierce armor, allowing them to single-handedly take on a fully upgraded Castle Age knight, or laugh away up to 94 bolts from Bodkin arrow crossbowmen. We've seen a lot of strong contenders with interesting bonuses, but in Imperial Age, this final civilization finds itself very securely on top of the pyramid. The victor's garland goes convincingly to the Aztecs, whose civilization sees the convergence of powerful effects for both monks and infantry. Aztec warrior priests receive 5 extra hit points for every monastery technology, and +4 attack from their Imperial Age unique technology, on top of every generic technology. Their Castle Age monastery technologies alone net them 5 more hit points than even Armenians can get with their Faradar's Imperial Age technology, and if you manage to pick up all the Imperial monk techs as well, this puts them at 150 hit points, double that of an elite Jaguar warrior, and with nearly as much attack.
These warriors shall receive the blessing of the Rain God, and will fight with the skill of 10 normal men.
While they'll still lose to very powerful units like Paladins or Boyars, they can comfortably handle a fully upgraded Cavalier and can easily put even the powerful Armenian warrior priest to shame. But while the use cases of this gimmick are obviously limited due to the matchups and the effort required, it's at least possible to derive some benefit from it when the circumstances are right. It might be something you're tempted to try in a low-stakes multiplayer game, or perhaps even a diplomacy game where an accomplice is willing to act as an arms dealer and supply you with a steady source of Aztec warrior priests. Or, as with the Wrath, if you enjoy games against multiple AI players, as I occasionally do, you might farm one of the Armenian bots for a congregation of converted clerics, and spare their civilization for as long as they provide the requisite tribute. Anyway, now you know the secret of the Warrior Priest, the second unit with this ability. If you like this video, you can show me by leaving a like. If you have a different point of view, you can try to convert me in the comments section, and you can subscribe to benefit from the civilization bonuses of my channel. This has been me waxing philosophical about the weaponized procurement of warrior priests. Till next time.